Municipal budgets are always tight. Now, the arrival of COVID-19 means stretching scarce funds even thinner. Nick Dunne is our Northeastern Ontario Hub journalist. He's been looking into what it means for northern cities and joins us now from Sudbury. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jeyan.
So we've heard a lot about large cities like Toronto and Ottawa losing a lot of revenue because of the pandemic. But when it comes to northern cities, whether or not there's a pandemic or not, there are some challenges when it comes to balancing budgets, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the biggest challenge for municipalities in a normal year, regardless of a pandemic, is population growth. There's always higher demands placed on the quality of services in municipalities. So there's always pressure to be improving those, whether it's police or roads. And you also have to think about the fact that the price of living is just always going up. So the easiest way to keep up with that demand is having steady population growth. But if your population is decreasing or if it's stagnating, there are challenges in year over year generating more and more revenues for those demands.
So Nick, let's talk about COVID-19 then. What issues are municipalities facing or running into because of COVID-19?
The problem is a matter of the local economy. So in a smaller city, generally speaking, your local economy is a little less diversified. There are probably a handful of major employers that pay the majority of people who work in the city. Often they're linked together by the same industry. So if an industry is being seriously impacted by COVID, say lumber, because there's less construction going on, that can put a lot of strain on people who might be experiencing income interruption. All of a sudden, one industry is out and you've got a fair amount of your tax base that isn't employed right now. So they defer their payments on their water bills, their property taxes, and next thing you know, municipalities are running thin on their cash flow.
Now, I know you were talking to the mayor of Sudbury as well. For a city like that, for example, with that size, what else are they doing with COVID-19? I understand property taxes are being deferred as well. Bus fare, are they accepting that?
No, so buses are free right now. They've removed the user fees for that. They've also reduced the level of service to kind of reduce the overall cost. But yeah, it's a little bit difficult because they're still assessing, the effectiveness of various programs like the CERB from the federal government. They're still trying to figure out if people can pay their bills, on a month-to-month basis with this, or if they have to still pay out their essentials. So there's still a lot to work out in the long run.
So let's talk a little bit more about some measures that these northern cities are putting in place. What measures are being taken to get them through?
So at a provincial level, Premier Doug Ford last week spoke during his daily press conference about how the fact that Minister Rod Phillips, the finance minister, is working on a plan to help out municipalities. However, obviously the priority right now is in the healthcare system, making sure that the supply chains are solid, that staffing at hospitals, long-term care homes are in check. So right now, there's not a whole lot on this file. We might see more come budget time or when we've shifted gears towards restarting the economy. Another thing to consider is that the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, is asking municipalities to keep a ledger of increased expenditures, lost revenues, how local agencies are being impacted, as well as the local economy. So they're all taking this in check, but we haven't seen any kind of concrete plan at the moment.
Now, you talked a little bit about, looking into the future. I'm curious, how do future years' budgets look like when, with what's been going on right now? What does it take us to are they planning for that now? Is that something they look for later?
So two main things here. The first is that your property assessments are going to be really impacted here. You're going to see a number of small businesses or other businesses that might shut down permanently as a result of, this shutdown from COVID-19. You're also going to see housing projects, infrastructure development, capital projects delayed and deferred. So that's going to ultimately affect your property assessment, which is foundational to your property tax values. And that is the main way that municipalities generate revenue. So that's going to be seriously impacted. Another thing to consider is the economic health of your residents. In 6 to 8 months to a year's time, they're going to have to pay off the CERB on their income tax. They're going to have deferred water bills and property taxes that they're going to have to pay off. Maybe this COVID-19 situation has eaten into their savings. So you can't just raise your property taxes or other taxes to make up for these revenue shortfalls. It's going to be very hard on residents.
And just to clarify, when you say CERB, we mean the Canada Emergency Benefit, Response Benefit, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've talked to a lot of the leaders in these northern municipalities. They panicked at all? Are they worried?
So at the moment, they're not sounding the alarm bells. I think the problem with smaller municipalities is that there's so many unknowns at the moment. For example, in North Bay, I was speaking with Tanya Verbosch. She's the chief budget official and she's a city councilor. And she was talking about how the North Bay airport is requesting a visit with city council to talk about potentially helping out the airport because there hasn't been anything done at a federal level for them. So there are so many unexpected costs that are going to come up for various agencies and local services that haven't been factored in yet, that aren't necessarily in the normal budgeting of a city. So there's still a lot to figure out and a lot of impact. Again, we have to see how the provincial and federal benefits help out residents and whether or not that can help out municipalities as well.
A lot to figure out, and I'm sure you'll be keeping tabs on all of that. Nick Dunne, appreciate you always coming on the show, giving some important information from Northeastern Ontario. That's Nick Dunne, our Northeastern Ontario Hub journalist.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario. CPA Ontario is a regulator, an educator, a thought leader, and an advocate. We protect the public. We advance our profession. We guide our CPAs. We are CPA Ontario. And by viewers like you. Thank you.